My younger half-sister, weak and frail since birth, fears the cold. My fiancé has always pitied her. He is upright and severe, ordering my family to use our ancestral medicine to cure her illness. After we refused, he hired bandits to rob us. The bandits looted my family's private treasury and even broke my older brother's leg. Witnessing this, he only gave a cold laugh. It's your own fault for not handing over the medicine. Otherwise, would any of this have happened? Later, he fell seriously ill. The imperial physician said only my family's sacred pill could save him. I watched my half-sister feign illness and said, "It's all because the bandits stole our medicine. Otherwise, the prince would have recovered by now." On the 9th day of the 12th lunar month, snow fell heavily. I draped a quilt over my knees, holding a bowl of steamed milk cakes, eating while I went over the ledgers. Xiao Man brought in half a basket of silver charcoal. "Miss, the prince is here again, still asking after third Miss's health." My hand paused over the account book. "How is her illness now?" "What else?" Xiao Man said, annoyed. "Every physician in the north of the city keeps hinting that she's pretending. Always looking like 2 steps in the wind will blow her over." She tossed 2 more lumps of charcoal into the stove, pouting. "How cold-hearted. The one betrothed to the prince is you, the legitimate daughter of the household. Why does he always ask after someone else? Isn't that looking down on you?" I lowered my eyes, saying nothing. "My name is Song Ji-jin, eldest legitimate daughter of the Marquis household, raised never to reveal dissatisfaction." I picked up my brush and carefully circled the errors in the account book. "If Ji-bai is ill, tell father not to let her go out anymore." Not long after these words spread, someone from the main hall came to call me. "Miss, the prince is in the main hall, asking the Marquis for the ancestral sacred pill, for 3rd Mississippi. The Marquis asks you to come." I stood up at once, the quilt slipping to the floor, dusting up a faint trail of charcoal. "That pill is a sacred medicine, handed down from my ancestor who fought alongside the founding emperor. It is said that except for the dying, anyone with a breath left can be saved. For generations, even at the edge of death, my family never used it, yet now an outsider is here begging for it for a half-sister." Xiao Man fetched my cloak, face flushed with anger. "What trick is 3rd Miss playing now?" When I entered the hall, Song Ji-bai was already kneeling, weeping. She leaned weakly to the side, like a willow in the wind, tears glimmering on her face. Truly pitiable. Otherwise, why would my fiancé stand by, worried and protective? "Your daughter is so frail now. Can't you just give her the medicine?" I walked in silently, heart cold as ice. Father's face looked uneasy as he saw me. "The prince, it's not that our family won't give the medicine, but it's a sacred ancestral heirloom, granted by the founding emperor. How could we use it so lightly?" Zhao Yanqing snorted coldly. "The Marquis really knows how to pressure people. When your own child is dying, do you still talk of virtue?" I stepped forward, helping Song Ji-bai up and performing every courtesy. "Ji-bai may be my family's illegitimate daughter, but she's had the finest medicine since childhood. Bring the records, Xiao Man." I turned to a random page. "Every renowned physician has examined her and said it's only mild frailty, she'll be fine with careful care, it won't shorten her life. Prince, why do you say she's at death's door? Besides, the sacred pill is here, and my father is in good health. As children, even in peril, we would not dare use it without his order. Everyone here is still living well, aren't they?" As I spoke, I squeezed Song Ji-bai's hand. She flinched in pain and quickly said, "I'm fine, Prince, please don't say more for my sake." Seeing the beauty's frown, Zhao Yanqing shoved me aside and cradled Song Ji-bai. "Don't be afraid, I'm here." What a pitiful pair. Luckily, father stood up and helped me, his face turning dark. "Prince, matters of our house are not your concern. If you have no other business, we won't keep you for dinner." Father's meaning was clear. Zhao Yanqing unwillingly glanced at Song Ji-bai and flung his sleeves as he left. "If anything happens to Ji-bai, I won't let your family off." The empire prospers, but the emperor favors civil over military, ever more suspicious of the generals. Song Jibai's mother, Jiang, was a concubine sent by the emperor. Said to be a great honor, in truth it was surveillance, especially whenever father left for war. That's why, all these years, no one dared provoke Song Jibai, no matter how unruly she became. Now, with just a few tears, father clutched his head and sent her away. Jijin, I am useless. But this marriage, even if I must beg at the palace gates, I won't let you be wronged. If your mother knew you'd marry into such a house, she'd blame me even in the afterlife. I supported father, an old general who knew nothing of court intrigue. I looked at him and spoke gently. Don't worry, father. Brother is promising. Our household won't be bullied. But deep inside, I was uneasy, always sensing some calamity looming over us. Sure enough, that very night, the back courtyard caught fire. Amidst the blaze, bandits broke in. They wore masks and wielded broadswords, each one fierce, moving as if they knew our house inside out. They moved straight to the valuables and knew every exit, as if they'd been here many times before. While I ordered the servants to fight the fire, I gathered all the womenfolk in one place. My brother, trained in martial arts since childhood, grabbed a sword and led the men to resist. By the time the authorities arrived, my brother had cut down several bandits but suffered a leg injury. The leader of the officials was a young inspector named Xia Wenju, calm and unruffled even in danger. I am Xia Wenju. Is the old marquis well? I sent someone to tend to my brother's wounds, then stepped forward to greet him. My father's health is poor, he's resting now. Thank you for your help, Inspector. Xia Wenju nodded. In the shadow of the throne, for such a thing to happen in the marquis household is our negligence. After that, he gave a loud order. The bandits only entered the outer courtyard and never the inner residence. Put out the fire and bring back their bodies. My heart stirred, but I let none of it show, quietly accepting his goodwill. The line of guards filed out in order, the torchlight in the estate wavered with the movement of spear tips, flickering back and forth. Under the wind and snow, my home now looked like a branch about to snap, ready to collapse at any moment. The next day, during the inventory of the storeroom, the steward spoke in a low voice. Miss, they targeted our medicines. All the sacred pills and rare ingredients bestowed by the founding emperor are gone. My heart tightened as I thought of Zhao Yanking's face. My older brother, still applying medicine to his wounded leg, was so shocked he nearly tried to get up. They really intend to crush our family. I hurriedly stood and pressed my brother back down. Brother, father's old wounds have not healed, and his mind is not recovered. Right now, you are the only hope of our household. Yesterday we almost fell into someone's trap, can you not calm down? Since childhood, my brother was fiery and upright, but after following father in the bureaucracy, the grind wore away all his fighting spirit. He sighed and sat down. It's my own uselessness. I shook my head. We're powerless against the current. We must find a way. Brother, let the rumor spread that your legs are completely crippled. If we've already been bullied to this point, we may as well let it all fall apart. After leaving my brother, I returned to my courtyard and sent Xiaoman. Tell Song Jibai to come. I want to see what happens when she finally takes the sacred pill. Song Jibai arrived dressed simply in white, her figure delicate and every gesture full of fragile grace. She saw me and appeared respectful and humble. With everything happening lately, I'm sorry you've been troubled, elder sister. I tilted my head and placed a thick stack of ledgers and medical records in front of her. Since the day you were born, whatever my courtyard spent each month, yours received just as much. Whatever I studied, you studied too. Whoever taught me, father also hired renowned teachers for you. Jibai, you're 14 now, and this spring you came of age. Has the Song family ever treated you or your mother unfairly? Song Jibai didn't answer immediately. She lifted her eyes, and in that moment all trace of illness vanished. Someone once so weak now seemed covered in thorns. Elder sister, you blame me for being close to the prince. But you don't like him anyway, so what if I amuse myself for a few days? How shameless, how could any well-bred lady say such things? My chest heaved with anger. I didn't understand, raised in the same family, how could she say this? She seemed to shoot me a look, then reluctantly lowered her head in a show of courtesy. If you don't want to hear it, I won't say it next time. I am also a song, sharing blood with you and brother. As long as our household stands, I have a home too. Father named me G to acknowledge me as his own, by hoping I'd distinguish right from wrong, black from white. Elder sister, you're mistaken. She stood there quietly, looked at me, and said softly. He named me G to show his loyalty to the emperor, to keep himself pure as an official. But sister, since the day I was born, I was already a stain, nothing like you. After speaking, she lowered her head, coughed a few times, and instantly resumed her weak appearance. I let out a long sigh. G, some fates are born upon us, everyone must face their own. But if I ever discover you betrayed the family, the Song household will never forgive you, do you understand? Song Ji's eyes sparkled, her smile gentle. Of course. Don't worry, my heart is always with this family. As soon as news spread that my brother was crippled, the household grew colder and emptier than ever. The crown prince, no longer playing the fool, now handled all affairs with skill, winning the emperor's praise. Zhao Yanqing openly said I was rigid and unfit for him, making me the laughingstock of the entire city. One thing after another, an old general who once fought alongside my father committed an offense, inciting the emperor's wrath. He was exiled. Father, sick and weak, wanted to ride out to see him off. No matter how I tried, I couldn't stop him. Tears nearly welled in my eyes. Song Ji stood behind me, her voice soft. I'll say something outrageous, if you don't let father go, even in death he'll never rest in peace. Our family has already fallen this far, what's one more straw? As soon as father left the city, Zhao Yanqing arrived, bringing a matchmaker, a token, and a letter of withdrawal. The eldest daughter of the Song family is rigid and rules-bound, doesn't know how to please anyone. I'm here to break off the engagement, let's part ways. He didn't bother to notify anyone, but stood right at the gates and read out the withdrawal letter for all to hear. In the letter, he listed out more than 10 of my supposed faults. I drew my sword and pressed the blade into my palm, blood flowed instantly. Xiaoman cried out in terror and rushed to press a handkerchief to the wound. I looked at her coldly and pressed the bloodied cloth into her hand. Seal my brother's courtyard. No one in or out. Stand in front of him and say, if he steps out, I'll smash my own head to keep my honor. Zhao Yanqing's father, Prince Jing, is the current crown prince's brother. Now, with the emperor aging, the crown prince is desperate to assert his power. But why at this moment are they cornering the generals? For years every general at court has been quietly cast aside, and now comes this public humiliation. First, father is driven out, then Zhao Yanqing comes to shame us, trying to provoke my brother to disaster. Step by step, they want to drag our household into the mud. I took a deep breath, sword in hand, and walked out to the front steps. Zhao Yanqing was waiting, seated on a carved wooden chair below the steps, looking up at me with utter disdain. The eldest daughter of the Song family has come, take your letter and cry over it. Your half-sister has been sick since childhood, and your family wouldn't give even a single pill. All because the eldest daughter manages the house but has a petty heart. If not, how could bandits have been brought upon you? A woman like that, my family would never marry. He sneered and ordered a servant to present the withdrawal letter and the token before me. I could no longer hold back my anger. I drew my sword and, with one strike, split the tray in two. My father is Song, Marquis of National Trust, the mighty General Chunyao. If the prince is breaking his oath and calling off the engagement, then let's settle things properly. Our gates are wide open, ready to receive the betrothal token and the withdrawal letter, so both families can keep their peace. But if you insist on trampling on the honor, blood, and tears our Song family won on the battlefield, then today we'll ride to Prince Jing's residence and smash our heads beneath the imperial plaque, to defend our family's purity. Saying this, I lifted my sword. Blood from my palm dripped down, staining the blade red. I pointed the tip directly at Zhao Yanqing, my eyes burning with rage. And if that's not enough, I'll kill you here and now to erase this humiliation, then take my own life to repay your family. With that, I swung my sword and charged at him. Zhao Yanqing had never faced anything like this before. He fell back in terror, knocking over his chair. At the critical moment, someone stepped in, 2 fingers gently caught my blade. I looked up and saw Xia Wenju, dressed in official robes, with a hint of apology in his eyes. Miss Song, there's been progress in the case of the Song residence robbery. I've come to see the Marquis personally. Zhao Yanqing, seeing someone step in to mediate, immediately got to his feet. Zijing, so you're working at the Ministry of Justice now. Xia Wenju glanced at him, then unexpectedly smiled. The prince came here to break off an engagement. Zhao Yanqing gave me a quick, uneasy look. You see for yourself, how could any man marry a woman this unruly? That's just as well. Xia Wenju turned my sword horizontally, rested it across his palms, and lifted it before me. My apologies, Miss Song. For the humiliation you suffered today, let me return justice to you in apology. I frowned and took back my sword, watching as he turned away. Guards! Zhao Yanqing made trouble at the Song gates, disturbing innocent people, take him away. The crowd on the street was too stunned to react, and as for Zhao Yanqing, he stared, mouth agape, at Xia Wenju. Zijing, what do you think you're doing? I warn you, don't meddle in this. Xia Wenju didn't answer, only stared at the bloodied cloth wrapped around my hand, his brows drawn tight. Miss Song, please return to your rooms. Don't worry. When the Marquis returns, I'll visit again. My nose stung. I just nodded, then hurried back to my courtyard as if fleeing. I couldn't stop my tears, they rolled down, one after another. Xiao Man reported that my brother, locked in his room, was so angry he nearly coughed up blood. I wiped my tears. Find out who told him about what happened at the gate. That person is to be expelled from the house today. Then, have someone follow and see whose house they go to report to. Once I'd finished with everything, I slumped into my chair, palms slick with cold sweat. Father returned and called my brother and me to the main hall. His hair was snow white, every movement full of decline. There's trouble at the border. The emperor plans to send the 9th princess for a diplomatic marriage. In that instant, I understood everything. 10 years ago, at this very time, the state of Yi provoked a war, attacking the northern pass. The Shi state couldn't hold, losing 2 cities. The court deliberated for half a month and finally decided to send the 5th princess, only 16 then, to marry into the enemy state. But father and a group of hardline generals blocked it, kneeling before the throne and vowing to defend the pass with their lives. The empress and 5th princess wept until the emperor, in anger, allowed father to try one campaign. That one campaign, father chased the young general of Yi for 50 miles. Not only did he reclaim the lost land, but even forced reparations from Yi. But from then on, the old emperor could never truly tolerate father. This diplomatic marriage was payback for what happened 10 years ago. And a way for the crown prince to establish his prestige before taking the throne. My brother clenched his fists, but no longer lost his composure. He looked up, his gaze fixed on father. Father, does the Song family surrender this time? Father looked at us, then laughed. Silly children, don't challenge your father. The situation now is not as it was years ago. Father, I refuse to accept this. Our family has bled and died for generations, what right do they have? You don't know what happened today. He trailed off, slumping into his seat, like a drum with its skin broken. I looked at the two of them, thought for a moment, then spoke. Father, what do you think of Prince Hui? The emperor has 6 sons. For over 20 years, they've schemed and fought, but only Prince Hui has always stayed out of the fray. Stable, reliable, but never at a loss. Before father could reply, I'd made up my mind. Years ago, when I accompanied mother to the temple, I was fortunate enough to meet Prince Hui. Father, after Zhao Yanqing breaks off the engagement, I want to be a concubine to Prince Hui. No. Absolutely not. Prince Hui is already old. He even lost his son before, and his wife is still childless. He might be. Oh, heavens. Our family may have fallen, but I'm not about to let you go fill someone else's emptiness. If you keep talking like this, I'll go see your mother in the afterlife myself. His words left a bitter taste in my mouth. But this was the best path I could find. With Zhao Yanqing making such a scandal, it would be difficult for me to marry elsewhere. If I could enter Prince Hui's household and find a little protection, it wouldn't be the worst fate. Zhao Yanqing was held in the Ministry of Justice for 3 days. Xia Wenju was utterly unyielding, refusing every plea for leniency. In the end, Prince Jing himself couldn't stand it and caused a scene to get his son released. Only then did father learn of Zhao Yanqing's disgraceful actions at our gates. He took his riding whip and the old campaign helmet and marched straight out. Xiaoman told me father put the helmet in Prince Jing's hands. This is my head. Keep it as compensation for my daughter's broken engagement. Then, right in the street, he lashed Zhao Yanqing with the whip. The scene was utter chaos, chickens and dogs scattered, and the crowd cheered. When Prince Jing's soldiers tried to intervene, Xia Wenju arrived with his men just in time, his face icy, and sent both sides back to their own houses. Before leaving, father shouted, "To insult my children is to insult the whole Song clan. If this old man isn't worth living, kill me now." Hearing this, I finally couldn't hold back my tears. A father who had been wise and proud all his life, now driven mad in the streets. On the other side, the origins of the servant who whispered into my brother's ear that day had been discovered. He was from Prince Jing's household. And there was something else. Song Jibai had climbed her way into the crown prince's household. Every day, she wore a veiled hat, left the house by the side gate, and a carriage waited on the quiet street outside. I arranged for skilled followers, and saw her slip into the prince's private villa outside the palace. The crown prince ranked third among the emperor's sons, not yet 40 years old, not much older than our father. Remembering the odd look on Song Jibai's face, an uneasy feeling rose in me. But I didn't have time to think it through, because the fifth princess had already returned to Shangqing City. She was the only daughter of the current empress, born when the empress was already advanced in years, noble, proud, and a notorious handful since childhood. Ever since she'd almost been sent away for a diplomatic marriage, she'd become much more composed. Later, she married a general in the south and followed him to guard the frontier. This time, her first act on returning was to give Zhao Yanqing a public beating in front of Prince Jing's residence. As she beat him, she scolded him fiercely, the surrounding crowd cheering and shouting with excitement. "You wretched beast! The Song family's marquis saved your aunt's life. 10 years ago, he was covered in wounds, fighting off the Yi state troops despite being ill. If not for him, I'd have been nothing but a goat or a pig sent off to slaughter. Being engaged to the eldest daughter of the Song family is the fortune of your bloodline. Otherwise, for a useless lump of mud like you, not even a passably pretty girl would look your way." When she was done, she dragged Zhao Yanqing to our gate and said she wished to see me and father. When we met, the fifth princess immediately caught father as he was about to salute. "There's no need for formalities, Marquis. I'm here today because someone in the royal family has behaved shamefully. I'm here to apologize to you and your daughter." Her eyes turned red as she spoke, then she turned and barked at Zhao Yanqing. "Kneel, kowtow, then get out." Zhao Yanqing looked at me, eyes full of resentment, but under the fifth princess's pressure, he grudgingly knelt and bowed his head. Father was clearly satisfied, though he tried to protest. "It's all right, I already gave him a beating. Another kowtow is just." The fifth princess didn't care at all. "If the emperor wants to blame someone, I'll take it. And don't worry about the reputation of the eldest Song daughter, she's the apple of the marquis's eye. If the marquis's wife were still alive, she'd love her just as much as my own mother loves me. Her marriage is my responsibility. Marquis, you can rest easy. No one expected that the very next day, the Princess of Hui brought a matchmaker to our door. The person she proposed was none other than her nephew on her mother's side, Xia Wenju. Father said she even brought a fine porcelain bottle of scar medicine, with special instructions to save it for me. I looked at the cold porcelain in my hand and remembered the day he handed me my sword, feeling a little dazed. That boy from the Xia family, father had met him before. He was well-mannered, with decent looks, and seemed sharp-minded. Prince Hui had no children but had raised this boy for years. It seemed he would soon adopt him as his heir. The fifth princess was a good person, someone worth building ties with. Ji-Jin, what do you think? Of course it was a good idea. Prince Hui was the best path our family could choose now. For nearly 10 years, I'd analyzed every twist and turn of court politics, and everything pointed to Prince Hui as the most outstanding among them all. His mind was deep and impenetrable. Yet precisely because of that, he made me uneasy. Father, do you think Prince Hui has ambitions for the throne? If he only wants to be a prince, our marquisate could be allied with him. But if he seeks the throne, then our family, along with father's circle of old generals, are nothing but pieces on a chessboard. Pawns or carriages, all could be sacrificed. Father clearly understood, his expression changing at once. If he does aim for the throne, then everything that happened to us this year is no coincidence. Our family, and over half the military officials at court, have unwittingly fallen into Prince Hui's hands. It's chilling to think about. Spring came after the snow. The bandits who attacked our home were interrogated 3 times and sentenced to execution in autumn. But the mastermind behind it all remained carefully hidden. The fifth princess requested the empress's favor to host a spring banquet, inviting all the noble daughters and young lords of Shangqing City. By this time, Xia Wenju had been promoted to assistant minister, 5th rank, his prospects bright. Song Jibai, still as fragile as ever, began coughing as soon as her carriage arrived. When she stepped out, her face was so pale it was frightening. If you really feel so unwell, have someone take you home to rest. Song Jibai shook her head and leaned toward me. It's nothing. In front of others, I'll manage, don't worry, I won't trouble you. I could only sigh. Somehow, I couldn't bring myself to push her away. After a whole winter of running around, even the healthy would falter, never mind someone who pretended to be sick all day. Sister, later at the banquet, keep your distance from the crown princess. No matter what she says, don't reply. Only then did I remember, for this banquet, Song Jibai had received a private invitation. She led her maid a few steps ahead, then turned back. That Xia is a good man, you don't need to overthink. I didn't expect her to say something like that. My face flushed and I glared at her, quickening my pace. Since the last time I summoned her, Song Jibai hadn't had a real conversation with me again. Even about her meetings with the crown prince at night, I'd never been able to question her properly. After a few steps, I saw Zhao Yanqing waiting ahead. He didn't look at me, but pulled a small purple clay bottle from his sleeve, showing it off as if it were some treasure. Jibai, this is medicine my father found from Zhao State, try it. Song Jibai accepted it with a smile. Thank you, Prince. I once thought perhaps there was some hidden reason why he sent people to steal our medicine. But now, it's clear, he was just tricked by this little fox of a sister. Truly vexing. At the banquet, the crown princess naturally sat at the highest seat. Her gaze swept over the crowd, pausing on me and Song Jibai, a sly smile on her lips. The eldest Song daughter really is dignified and beautiful. I like her very much. The prince has just invited the old Madame Wei from the north to teach Zhong Yuan, but is still missing a classmate. I wonder if you're free lately. Remembering Song Jibai's warning, my mind spun through a dozen possibilities but I still couldn't figure out her intent. Your Highness, forgive me, my father's health has been poor lately, and he often needs someone to look after him and prepare his medicine. The crown princess showed no anger, just smiled and said. Then filial piety must come first. I won't force the matter. Here are 2 books, both of you young ladies may take them and read at your leisure. Song Jibai coughed lightly, not bothering to express any thanks. The crown princess didn't seem to mind, turning to chat with others. The rest of the banquet passed without any strange events, except that the fifth princess would occasionally speak up, always managing to praise me in public. Everyone said she was blunt and didn't know how to make veiled remarks. That meant she was doing her best to build my reputation. I quietly breathed a sigh of relief. While strolling in the gardens, I ran into Xiao Wenju. Today, he wasn't wearing his official robes. His first glance was at my hand. "Miss Song, you've been well, I hope." I clenched my hand, hiding it behind my back. "Thank you for your concern." After that, I couldn't think of what else to say, and he, too, seemed at a loss. It was just like it was with Zhao Yanqing, nothing to say except polite inquiries, until he eventually complained that I didn't know how to be charming. While I was lost in thought, Xiao Wenju accepted a small brocade box from a servant. He opened it slowly. Inside was a piece of fine white jade, beneath which lay a thick stack of contracts. To ask for a scholar's hand with jade, and for a wife with sincerity. I may be abrupt, but I have 2 homes in Shangqing City, a country estate outside the city, 300 mu of good farmland, an annual stipend of 200 coins, and 150 dan of grain. I'm truly reaching above my station, so before the ancestral shrine I vow, for my whole life, I will take only one wife, never any concubine. We will hold hands and spend our lives together. The hand I'd reached out with suddenly dared not move. Good heavens, he didn't look like someone straightforward or honest at all. I steadied myself. Before, I always felt bound by my family, like a fish on a chopping block. But right now, in this instant, the only choice I had didn't seem so bad. I took the piece of jade, smiling brightly. "Master Xia, the Song family accepts." He smiled too, his smile, like his handwriting, bright and pure as starlight, making the heart stir. After laughing, I said, almost ruining the moment. "But if the Song family is a chess piece, let it be only me, Song Jijin, who serves as a pawn to be sacrificed. You ask for a scholar's hand with jade, for state affairs, and to serve as a loyal official." Xiao Wenju seemed stunned for a moment, then as if understanding, he met my gaze, clear and steady. "I lost my parents young and grew up with my aunt's family, relatives, but only distant kin. This jade is a gift fit for the court, I just thought it would be more proper." I nodded. "Good. Thank you." On the carriage ride home, Song Jibai reached for one of the books the crown princess had given. "You have plenty of books, sister. Let me have this one." Remembering her words before the banquet, I grabbed her hand. "Jibai, what's your connection to the crown prince's household?" She looked at me, eyes shimmering, still smiling gently. "I want to be the crown prince's concubine. In the future, that's the highest glory, royal power. For someone like me, if I don't compete with them, who else could? Do you realize there's unrest on the border? The crown prince is determined to suppress the generals to build the foundation for his reign. Our family is the first target." "Of course I know. Don't worry, sister. Once I'm married into the crown prince's household, our Song family will be safe." Looking at her, an absurd guess suddenly flashed through my mind. "Jibai, you got close to Zhao Yanqing just to ruin my engagement with him, so I couldn't marry him. Then you secretly built ties with the crown prince's household to protect the Song family. But what about urging Zhao Yanqing to steal our family's medicine, what was that for?" Song Jibai suddenly burst out laughing. "Oh, my silly sister. I got close to Zhao Yanqing because the two of us are both daughters of the Song family, but there's always a distinction between legitimate and concubine-born, status, and rank. You deserve to marry the prince, not me." "Sister, that's not fair." She looked at me, her whole person bristling with invisible thorns. "I just wanted to prove that anything good, if I, Song Jibai, want it, I can have it." The carriage stopped, and she stepped down without looking back. I, on the other hand, just smiled. Foolish girl. When Song Jibai was little, she was actually healthy. Pink lips, white teeth, shiny black hair, round curious eyes. Father felt guilty toward mother and didn't want to look at her. Aunt Jiang, forced into this marriage, was always trying to get between the loving couple, so she became more and more depressed and neglected Song Ji-bai. So she grew up mostly by my side. Back then, she would cling to me, calling sister, sister in a childish voice. She would ask why mother wouldn't see her. Why father never held her. Why rabbit fur was white. Why there were countless stars but only one moon. Why father married mother but still took in her mother. Why father had to attend court but mother didn't. I was 3 years older, her endless questions making my head spin. Eventually, I simply had servants prepare all sorts of treats, so whenever she came with questions, I'd stop her with food. By age 4, Song Ji-bai's teeth were already half ruined because of me. Once, she ate too much and had a fever that night. That was when Aunt Jiang finally began to care for her, and father, feeling guilty, patiently doted on her for days. From then on, Song Ji-bai came to me less and started falling ill more often. I secretly thought it was because I'd fed her poorly, so when I got older, I invited many physicians for her. But all of them, some just shook their heads, others said, Song Ji-bai isn't sick at all. So day after day, I watched her use weak health as an excuse to stir up chaos at home. Gradually, my feelings for her cooled. But what if there was more to it all? What if she really was just a foolish girl, forever stuck in a dark corner of her own? But I no longer had the chance to investigate. At the end of April, the emperor fell ill with a strange disease. Day after day, he summoned physicians and even brought down Taoists from the mountains to make pills. They said that when he heard the sacred medicine from our family was stolen, the emperor was so angry he broke several inkstones. In June, an imperial edict was issued. Song Ji-bai was to marry the crown prince as a concubine. They said this imperial edict was something the crown prince personally begged for, kneeling at the emperor's bedside. Even the crown princess spoke on her behalf. With no mother at home, I was left as the eldest to handle everything, my head spinning from all the duties. Song Ji-bai clung to me as she did when we were young, always by my side. But she rarely spoke to me, never answering my questions. Ji-bai, the crown prince's household isn't as splendid as it looks. Our family isn't as weak as you think, either. If you regret your decision, let me and father think of something, alright. The family's medicine, did you take it? How can a fake illness turn into a real cough after so long? More than half your mother's dowry has vanished, with not even a ledger left. I took some things from my mother's storeroom, look at the list and see if anything's missing. Song Ji-bai, you've always been a handful since childhood. Now you've chosen such a marriage, no amount of scheming will help. Do you really have to walk into the tiger's den? Whenever I scolded her, she always sat quietly, as if enjoying it, smiling as she looked at me. Finally, she took off a jade pendant from her belt and handed it to me. Song Ji-jin, this is what I treasure most, keep it safe. At that moment, the imperial edict came down, sending the 9th princess off for a diplomatic marriage with the Yi state. The Yi state even sent an envoy to Shangqing City with betrothal gifts. Even Xia Wenju became busy, and his letters to my brother, once every 3 days, dropped to only once every 5. The crown prince requested an early date to accept his new concubine, as if it were a way of bidding farewell to the first princess sent away for marriage since the founding of the country. The peace faction's leader boasted about his achievement. No need for war, the realm is at peace. But the unexpected happened at the ceremony to welcome the new concubine. The 9th day of the 9th month, a day of great fortune. The imperial guards surrounded our house, claiming Song Ji-bai had assassinated the Yi state envoy and was now imprisoned. Father, upon hearing the news, clutched his chest and nearly collapsed. He struggled to ask. My daughter has been weak and sickly since childhood, she couldn't even catch a falling bird, how could she kill anyone? She's a new bride, meant to be sitting in the East Palace, how could she have met the Yi state envoy? Song Ji-bai's face flashed through my mind, page by page. It felt like I was on the verge of understanding something, but the answer kept slipping away. I clung to father's hand to steady him. The fifth princess strode in, her voice ringing out. Yi State envoy Zhang Quan had evil intentions toward the crown prince's concubine. She fought back with her life, killed the scoundrel to protect her honor. She is a true heroine, the pride of our nation. How dare you call it assassination? The crown prince's men are thinking less and less clearly. As soon as she finished, the hall fell dead silent. The other Yi State envoys erupted in anger, flipping tables and shouting for an explanation. Father's eyes were red, his hand squeezing mine, trembling as he said, your sister is a good child. The ninth princess's marriage was cancelled. Within a day, word of Song Ji by killing the Yi State envoy to defend her honor spread through every street and alley. The anger the crown prince had worked so hard to suppress finally exploded. Every teahouse, bookshop, and marketplace echoed with a saying. To send a concubine to save the nation, when no one knows where the generals are. And at last, I understood Song Ji Bai's secret. From very early on, earlier than anyone realized, she'd built an enormous intelligence network in Chongqing City. Her mother's dowry, which had supposedly vanished, had actually been her startup capital. By now, her business holdings stretched across the capitals of 4 kingdoms. The jade pendant she gave me was the token to inherit it all. Our whole family was placed under house arrest, the imperial guards sealing every entrance. Nothing, not even a fly, could get through. At last, when I saw Xia Wenju, I couldn't hold back. My tears poured down like rain. Let me see Ji Bai. I'm afraid she'll sacrifice herself to create a way out. Xia Wenju's face was grim. He spoke quietly. She's already gone. Song Ji Bai is dead. Before she died, she wrote 4 words in blood on her cell wall. Better broken jade. I collapsed, numb and hollow. She was my sister, the one who feigned illness since childhood, who played tricks for father's affection, who always demanded a share of everything I had. She was my sister, the one who, when no one knew, made the decision to die to protect our family and country. I never got to see Song Ji Bai, but I did see Zhao Yanqing. The day after our house arrest was lifted, he came to the door. He looked hollow-eyed, deathly pale, like a man on the brink. He told me, Song Ji Bai really was ill. Since childhood, she was poisoned by Jiang, my stepmother, so she'd always be weak, so she could get sick whenever she needed sympathy from father. Zhao Yanqing looked up, almost proud. She said that tricking people into pity is worthless, so she bribed every famous physician in Chongqing City to say she wasn't sick at all. See? She was a much better person than you. Hiring bandits to steal the medicine and coming to the door to break off the engagement, these weren't her instructions. I, the prince, did those things of my own will. I only came here to tell you how much you all underestimated her, how you believed she was only pretending. Every bit of it was a terrible mistake. How laughable. How could you be so heartless, that you wouldn't even spare a single pill for her? Zhao Yanqing himself suffered from a strange illness. No one knows who started the rumor that it was he who had bandits raid the Song family to steal medicine for his beauty. Now, he's suffering the consequences, his illness has no cure. When autumn came, the crown prince was placed under house arrest by imperial edict. Prince Hui took over as regent. His very first act was to cancel the marriage alliance and dispatch 100,000 troops to escort the Yi State envoy back. My brother said his leg had recovered and volunteered to join the army. Father brought my brother and me to the Ministry of Justice to bring Song Ji Bai's remains home. Father vowed to submit a memorial, requesting her posthumous title, and to bury her in our ancestral tomb. That day, I saw Aunt Jiang. She hadn't left her rooms in a long time. She wore outdated clothes, standing at a distance, watching us but never approaching. I remembered Zhao Yanqing's words, my heart splitting with pain. On the day of Song Ji Bai's burial, there was a letter on my dressing table. On the envelope, in neat script. To my eldest sister, in person. Ji Jin, my eldest sister. It sounds strange, but you won't know, I have lived 2 lives. The sacred medicine our family so faithfully guarded was, in truth, a conspiracy lasting nearly 100 years. There was never any magic pill, only an excuse for those in power to charge our family with treason at any moment. It all began with Zhao Yanqing breaking off the engagement. Father, enraged, collapsed in the street. My brother, sword in hand, struck a pregnant woman. Or perhaps that woman flung herself onto his blade. Because of this, my brother was imprisoned, father bedridden. Afterward, the emperor fell seriously ill. The sacred medicine was rushed to the palace but was utterly useless. The result, father lost his title, the family was doomed to collapse. And you, eldest sister, bore all the consequences on your own. The peace party grew corrupt, embezzling, oppressing the people, slandering generals and honest officials. Negotiations with Yi State sold off 4 border cities and tens of thousands of people, while lining their own pockets with thousands of taels of silver. As for those in power, they only sought fleeting pleasures. Left with no choice, you offered yourself as a pawn, helping Prince Hui win the strength for a final battle. But fate was not on our side, our family failed by a hair's breadth, and all perished. Do you understand now, eldest sister? Everything depends on people, but to achieve anything, one must have schemes, timing, wealth, and hearts. Not a single thing can be missing. You have to prepare early or risk disaster late. 8 years ago, I learned heaven's secret and planned everything. Don't blame me for keeping it from you, I only feared fate might shift and hurt others. For me alone, whether I lived or died, that was already simple enough. After you finish this letter, cry if you must, blame yourself for never treating me kindly in this life. But please remember. Once, in another life, you gave up your own life to save me, to protect me with your own body. Me, Ji Bai. Final words. One more thing. This lifetime, I called my plan Tianqiu. Someone will find you and help you take over. Spend freely. Don't hold back. When you finish reading, burn this letter. On the day my brother rode out to war, the crown prince took his own life in the East Palace. Ji Bai's birth mother, Aunt Jiang, also left, seeking something, or someone, unknown. Prince Hui ruthlessly punished 4 or 5 corrupt officials, and Xia Wenju's position continued to rise. My wedding was set for the start of the next spring. Ji Bai, I'm going to be married. To the husband you chose for me. The end.